In 2015, two people arrived in America. Both had the same dream: to succeed, to make money, to build a better future. But that's where the similarities ended. One grew up in a wealthy family. The other grew up struggling to survive. One had connections. The other knew nobody. One spoke fluent English. The other barely understood the language. If you had met them on that first day, you probably would have predicted who would become successful. Most people would. But 10 years later, something shocking happened. The person everyone expected to fail ended up winning. And the reason why reveals one of the most important lessons about money, success, and life. Stay with me, because this story might completely change how you see your own future. Chapter 1. The Perfect Start. The first person seemed destined for success. Good education, strong network, supportive family, every advantage imaginable. When problems appeared, help was always available. Need advice? Someone had the answer. Need money? Someone could help. Need opportunities? Someone could open a door. Life wasn't perfect. But compared to most people, the path was much easier. Everyone expected great things, including him. Chapter 2. The Hard Beginning. The second person had none of those advantages. No wealthy family. No powerful connections. No safety net. When mistakes happened, the consequences were real. Sometimes there wasn't enough money. Sometimes there wasn't enough opportunity. Sometimes there wasn't enough hope. While others were sleeping comfortably, he was working extra shifts. While others were spending money, he was saving every dollar he could. Every small victory required enormous effort. But something unusual was happening. The struggle was teaching him lessons. Lessons that comfort never could. Chapter 3. The Hidden Advantage. Years passed, and something surprising began to happen. The person with every advantage became comfortable. Too comfortable. He delayed goals, procrastinated, spent more than necessary, assumed opportunities would always be there. The second person couldn't afford that mindset. Every dollar mattered. Every opportunity mattered. Every mistake mattered. He learned discipline, patience, consistency, and those qualities started producing results. Chapter 4. The Turning Point. One day, both faced the same challenge. A financial setback. The first person panicked, because he had never truly learned how to recover from failure. The second person stayed calm. Failure wasn't new. He had experienced difficulties his entire life. While one saw disaster, the other saw another obstacle. And that's when the gap between them began to grow. Not because of intelligence, not because of luck, but because one had developed resilience. Chapter 5. The Lesson Nobody Talks About. Many people believe success is determined by where you start. But history tells a different story. Your beginning matters, but your habits matter more. Your background matters, but your mindset matters more. Your circumstances matter, but your decisions matter even more. Because every day you are writing a story, and eventually your choices become your future. Chapter 6. 10 years later. 10 years after arriving in America, both lives looked very different. The person who started with every advantage was still searching for direction, still blaming circumstances, still waiting for the perfect opportunity. The person who started with almost nothing had built stability, built skills, built wealth, built confidence. Not overnight, not through luck, but through years of consistent action. And that's the part many people miss. Success is usually invisible while it's happening. The work is silent. The sacrifice is silent. The discipline is silent. But eventually the results become impossible to ignore. Two people, the same dream, different backgrounds, different experiences. But in the end, the winner wasn't determined by where they came from. The winner was determined by what they did every day. Never let your past convince you that your future has already been decided. Because some of the most successful people in the world started with nothing. And some people with every advantage wasted it all. Your story is still being written. The next chapter depends on the choices you make today. And that is both the challenge and the opportunity. The future is waiting. What will you do with it?